We're now live. All right, cool. So, good morning, everybody. Running a couple minutes behind. Just we're working through some things, trying some different formats for today's broadcast. For the broadcast from here on out. Um, but this week we've been talking about all the wins, all the things that can just make things like so successful, and get these wins before the end of the year. Lots of us got different things going on, but we all want to accomplish some things. I know some of us are slowing down a little bit. And I completely get that. We got the end of the year, we got this season, we have just all these great things happening. So I'm talking about the ways that we can get smart wins this week. But with every smart win, with every focus that leads us to what we want, we have to take into account just the things that don't go the way we would like. We might call these fails, which I'm not the biggest fan of. We might call these some troubles. We might call these struggles, but it's what's going to make you stronger so you can be better. So looking at that 1% of this week, or the bottom 1% of this week, it's going to be 1% because 99% of people will take things that happen that might be counterproductive, on the surface to them going after their goal, and they will sit back and lament on it and will think it's the worst thing ever. What I'm going to do with the 1%, and it's the way that I, set things up, the way that I do things, is how do we take this thing that didn't go the way we wanted, and how do we take this unexpected mishap, because it's nothing but a surprise, and then learn from it. That's where that 1% really focus on. Napoleon Hill, where this even came from, talked about this being the 2%. The 2% of people, 98 out of every 100 will focus on the bad. They will look at it as things that they can't learn from and not find those two golden nuggets, those two diamonds that they can pull out of the embers of that fire, of that thing that went bad, or that situation that didn't go the way that you want, and learn from it. I'm looking at challenging and think it's even 1%. Because there's so much negativity. Again, focused on the positive and looking at the things that are going to work well for me this week, and then sharing it in a way to normalize trying different things, but also for you to sit back and look at it and say, how can I apply this to my life? Or even kind of looking at it in real time. So this week in particular, diving right into this. I've got so many really cool things going on in my business. I'm excited about these things. Just learning a completely different industry, really taking my business from offline to more, exclusively online, and even just another sector of my business, which is technically a third business. But long story short, I got lots going on, as well as being a dad and, just handling life. So I thought, well, this week, and breaking this up on a Wednesday especially, because it's been a very accelerated week because of the way that I like to do things. I like to dive in, I get focused, I get locked in, I'm going after it. But I noticed when I've been going after it, this week, and quite honestly, up until about yesterday, it was the pizzazz, the zzz just wasn't there. And I was sitting back and I'm thinking, it just little things, right? Like I noticed some words wouldn't come to me. I started noticing that even yesterday, I was like, why am I running behind before doing the broadcast? I get excited about this. To be really honest with you, being on camera is not the most comfortable thing for me, but now I've just gotten kind of used to it, so it's normal. But I started feeling like that voice, that inner critic in me. And it was like, well, I hope you don't make a mistake. I hope you don't say the wrong thing. Just all these things that I honestly don't give much thought to. But I started hearing that voice even louder. And another thing that's been happening this week that was really throwing me off, that's just the bottom 1%. It's not about that something's wrong, but you just notice the way I'm talking about it today is that just something seems off with you. You ever have one of those days where you just don't feel like, or maybe a few days where you just don't feel like you're quite yourself, where you just don't feel like you're just on? And, you can still go on, you can still do things, but, in the back of your head, it's kind of like gnawing at you, nagging at you. And that's been going on this week. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, especially yesterday. I just had little issues. I got my son. My son drives me up the wall sometimes. Love him to death. Parents, y'all know what I'm talking about. Parents who have children know exactly what I'm talking about. We love our children so much. My God, we do, right? And I just noticed things were getting to me a little bit more. I wasn't quite as patient as I normally am. But, long story short, I was like sitting there and I was in the car picking him up and it hit me. I'm tired. I am tired. Not like tired, like, oh my gosh, I want to take a nap, but I haven't given myself the space to catch my breath. I said breath. And, why is this the bottom 1%? Because when we are in the pursuit of anything, I don't care what it is, and you are excited about it, right? you're after something, it's going to change your life. You're going to be able to help so many different people. You just have these things going on. Maybe you're getting a new job or maybe you're starting a new entrepreneur, journey, or maybe you just start a new sector, your business, or maybe you're just doing something new that you are excited about. You cannot negate the fact that it takes energy, that it takes, you being refreshed. And the things that I discuss, the things I talk about, it's not that I've beaten them and I never have to deal with this. No, I just have high lows is what I call them. Because without awareness, you kind of go down and then you're like, oh gosh, why didn't I think of this? And you kind of pick back up. The high lows that I discuss and talk about, it's, oh man, and I kind of catch myself before it gets too low. And I'm like, man, I got to do something different. Not that something's wrong. I was hoping this might be helpful for some of us, for some of you all. But from there, I recognized that I was tired immediately. It's like I sat back because of our excitement sometime, and just more so, focusing on me. Because of my excitement about what I'm working on, I forget sometimes to sit back and say, I need to catch my breath. I need to breathe. With everything I have going on, have I sat still long enough for everything to catch up to me? And again, it's not a here thing. It's not a cognitive thing. Like, I know better, but this thing is just so engaged. I have to slow down. I've got to give myself some more breaks. Today is the first day that I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to give myself this block of time and this is not typical of me not to do this. That's the thing about it. But I've been so excited these past few weeks. I've been excited, especially this week, because I'm so close. It's a tipping point. You could be right now in a place in your business, in a place in your life where you are literally this close. And if you're noticing that things aren't clicking, if you're noticing some things seem more difficult, it could be a sign that you might be a little tired. Rest is a part of success. It's not just always go and go and go and go and go. Gym metaphor time. All of my gym heads, all of my people who this isn't just something that you do because it's the season. I'm not picking on people. But the people who have been doing this, 2, 3, 5 years, know exactly what I'm talking about. For people who've been getting it for about a year, y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, you were so excited. You want to go 7 days a week. Then you want to go, for 21 days. You cannot work and expect yourself to grow like that in the gym. You cannot. Rest, sleep, recovery time is part of it. That's how those muscles get bigger. That's how their cardiovascular system gets stronger. Rest is necessary. You cannot keep hammering at it. And I think it was Abraham Lincoln quote, where if you told me, I'm sure he didn't say this, maybe they kind of gave him the credit, but if, you have 2 hours to cut down the tree, take 1 hour to sharpen your blade. We all need to sharpen our blade. And that same gym metaphor applies to our personal lives, our professional lives as well. Slow down, get some GD sleep, get some good rest in, watch a movie. I'm always talking about how I love the movie Moana. I have not watched Moana in probably a month and a half. That's not like me. That movie gets me so excited. I have not done all the things that I enjoy. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. It wasn't enough. But you have got to make sure that you're checking in and doing the things that you enjoy, that you like, that maybe you can sit down and go take a walk and doing the things that you enjoy. The gym is great, but that's not resting. Sitting down and thinking about your next 2023, that is fantastic. But you have to make sure that you're getting some rest. And that is my bottom 1% this week. It's about sitting down and realizing there's nothing wrong. Because when we get tired, we can about this thing, we'll embellish what we are feeling. Oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Oh my gosh, if you go to sleep, all the building's going to fall to pieces. Oh my gosh, you go to sleep. If you take a few minutes to yourself, all of a sudden you're going to be a horrible parent. All of these things this soup in your mind will do this mental gymnastics with you. To you, if you let it. I recognize that inner critic can be strong, just like I'm talking about right now. Words do not encompass the weight that this thing carries. Does not. But I'm telling you, if you're noticing that you're feeling off, if you're noticing things aren't quite where you would like them to be, and you just don't feel like you have that creativity, you don't have that fire back, it could be that you're tired. Take this lesson and run with it. Being tired is a part of it. You're working hard, you're excited, but you have to rest. Don't just be tired and ignore it. No, that doesn't make a sense. That's why that dashboard that we have in our lives flashes. Boom, boom, boom. Lights are flashing for some of you all. They were flashing for me this week, and I'm going to listen. It took a little bit, but as my mom would say, a hard head makes a soft bottom. She did not say it that way, but I would keep it PG. I hope you all just take this lesson and just or just hear this message. Maybe you say, I don't like the way that he says things. Maybe you could say that I don't agree with 100% of everything he's saying, but take this 1% and say, maybe I could be tired. Maybe I could give myself a little bit of a rest. Just consider it. That hustle, that grind, that go that everyone talks about. I'm telling you, I see the other end of it when I work with people, when I talk with people, when I do workshops. The amount of people that tell me that they're exhausted and they got to keep going and there's nothing there to keep going for. When I tell them they have rest, their shoulders drop and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you, I can rest. Here's your permission to get some rest. Here's your permission to let the success catch up to you. It's not that you're not working. You're just giving yourself time to grow. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. We just got that all set up yesterday. If you want to stay in the know of a lot of really cool projects that we have going on, we do not spam, nothing weird like that. I'm going to see you all tomorrow, keeping it funky and fresh, showing you how to get some easy wins this week. And the win this week is get some rest. That's the bottom 1% that you can learn from. Learn from every mistake, every failure, everything that doesn't go your way. There's a lesson there. It just takes a little bit of courage, a little bit of time to figure it out.